Bishop,
Yeah.
I'm live. Any words of wisdom?
Well, I always have a little bit of something to say. And one of the things that I think is so important is what was sent to me tonight on my watch. And the indication is that even after Cain killed Abel, God still did not choose Cain. So that goes to say that everyone who is in the business of destroying others because they want to be received or accepted, that'll never happen. Your acceptance and your reception is based upon your ability to endorse, support, embellish, and to enhance the individuals who God has his hand on. I always want to be a part of the success of whoever God has his hand on.
Yes.
Because the collateral damage is a blessing to me.
Let's go, Bishop. Bishop, you spoke about tarnishing. This will help somebody. When people diminish you, is because they are trying to tarnish you to exalt themselves. You said something to that effect.
The thing that is so critical is that you cannot diminish who God has his hand on. And Paul put it, it was said, you can't kick against the pricks. And one of the things that I think is so important is when Jesus was in a situation where he was healing people and those who were against him without any real foundation, without any real cause, now wants to attribute his behavior to Beelzebub. What people are doing today in a prophetic environment when God is moving and you cannot question or you cannot deny it's God, what you do is you say something that is almost blasphemous because you see the hand of God and you know it's God. And then when you decide that you're going to put it with witchcraft and put it with something else, and then here's Jesus responding. A kingdom that's divided against itself that cannot stand. Satan is not divided against himself. He does not play that. So he is not going to take one of his demons to cast out another demon when he's trying to possess somebody. So whenever demons are being moved, whenever a prophetic word is true, it cannot be Satan against Satan. It has to be God operating in that space. So let's not become so blind or so caught up in our envy or so viciously used by Satan to make a fool of ourselves.
Bishop, you said something that man, I was thinking about it just now. Oh man, I hope it comes back to me. You're talking about oh man, wow, it was just on my tongue.
Give me a hint.
Yeah, it's coming. I'm trying to because it was.
Just give me a little hint.
It was amazing. It's gonna come in a second. You say so many good things that you think about every word you say. I hang on it. So I gave it full attention and I lost my thought. But in short, you were saying, you mentioned something about, oh, here it is. You are speaking about Satan only being a tempter and how the heart can be wicked.
You see, you have to understand that when it comes to man's heart, and I think it's important because it happens when you're choosing people.
Hold on, Bishop.
Go ahead.
Please, listen to this. This blew my mind. This was crazy. This was amazing.
Even when you're choosing people, the heart is desperately wicked. This is what God says. The heart is desperately wicked above all.
Yes.
Who can know it? So that means that many of us don't even know our own hearts. And we don't even know. So we're choosing and we're operating from a mechanism that's already flawed. So since Satan understands that you are already flawed and you have your proclivities and tendencies, all he does is entice. See, because temptation is made of two parts. One is desire and two is enticement. If you have desire without enticement, you're not tempted. If you have temptation without desire, or if you have enticement without desire, you're not tempted. You can have desire, but there's no enticement. There's no temptation. You can have enticement, but you have no desire. It's not there. So when you are blaming Satan, you should first examine
yourself,
your heart. It's because that's where God is going. Once God has your heart, Satan's enticement
dies.
Is minuscule. God bless.
No, but you said something beautiful. You said that Satan is only called a tempter and money is the root of evil, not Satan.
If you're talking about, listen, let me just put it to you this way.
Yes.
And it's not having money, it's not being broke,
Yes.
but let me put it to you this way.
Yes.
The devil, Satan, has never been called the root of all evil. The root of all evil is the love of money.
Yes.
Not having money, not being broke, but loving it.
Yes.
Mrs. Gates, not the late, but ex-wife of Bill Gates,
Yes.
is giving away billions. She wants to be broke when she dies. With all of her money, you can see she doesn't love it. She's willing to give it away. The love of money distorts how we treat each other, distorts our message, distorts how we act in terms of stealing, dishonesty, robbery. The love of money brings drugs. The love of money brings human trafficking. It's all because people love money.
Hey, Mama. My mother, Lily Java, love you too much. So, Bishop, now, if the love of money is the root of all evil, so are you saying most of the evil that is happening in the world is simply because of the love of money?
99%.
That is crazy.
It's the love of money. It's people who cannot get enough.
Yes.
So what happens even in America is 3% of Americans control 17% of the others, and the rest of the 80% have to live on minuscule amount of money because they can't get enough.
Yes.
And if you check and see all of the things that are happening even in your neighborhood and even around you, even in your family, it's all centered around how people love
Money.
That's
true.
Because money represents power. And power now is the seat, the substratum of your pride. And God resisteth the
proud, but gives more grace.
He gives more grace to the humble. And so when you're meek, you understand in whatever state you find yourself, then you're content.
Yes.
And if you have the love of God in your heart, the love of good people around you, there's things that money can't buy.
Bishop, now, my question for you is this. In Genesis chapter 6, we see the destruction of the earth by a flood.
Yes.
The destruction of all living creatures, basically, except those that were in the ark, right?
Those in the ark and the fishes.
Yes. So, actually, I was reading... I was watching this, but this is a whole different thing. They were saying that even some fishes died because of the oxygen level dropped dramatically.
I can imagine.
Because of the level of water. But here's the thing, Bishop. Now, God said that basically the chapter is about God wiping out the earth because of man, not because of the devil that is on earth.
It had nothing to do with the devil.
Why is that?
Let me tell you, by chapter 6,
yes,
and you got to understand that one of the key exhibits of man's depravity is violence.
Yes.
Violence happened in the first family.
Yes.
Was murder in the first family. Now, Genesis 6:6 says, and the man's imagination of his heart
was desperate.
Now notice the adverbs.
Yeah.
Every imagination of his heart was only evil continually. Now, you've got every only continually, which means he had no good or decent thoughts. It had nothing to do with Satan.
That was just them.
It was man's heart.
So question.
So notice.
Yes, sir.
If Satan is the reason for that debauchery and that dilapidated condition in the heart of man, then you should have wiped out Satan.
Yes, sir.
But because man
had to do with it, man
became
was
the recipient, because he violated when God said, the day thou eat, thou shalt surely die.
Yeah.
And from then, he just regressed to the point that the Bible says it repented God
to make man.
That he made man.
He never repented for making the devil.
Oh, no.
Only man.
Only man.
That is crazy.
Because man, in his own image. Totally disrespected him to the point where man wanted to put God on trial to see whether or not he would serve him when he would created him. And then he turned around and reduced the significance of God by worshiping the created more than the creator. And not only that, he took and worshiped four-footed beasts which were less than men, fish, birds which were less than man. So in doing that, he reduced himself as a man, and he reduced God as a creator.
So Bishop.
Bad.
So Bishop. What you're saying is that man has the ability to do wrong by himself without even the devil.
He doesn't need the devil. He doesn't need the devil. A lot that we're blaming on the devil. It's us.
The devil made me do it.
No, the devil didn't make you do a thing. The devil just put it in your face.
Yes.
And this is why you have to be born again. And when you're born again, the whole issue now becomes, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed
by the renewing
of your mind. If you keep thinking devil, you'll never get right.
Yeah.
Because you're always putting the responsibility on someone else, and you're not taking the accountability for your own behavior.
This is crazy.
You have more power than the devil. Let me tell you something about being saved and angelic power. All of you believe that you need an angel to protect you. I've got news for you. Angels need born again people to protect them.
Yes.
Now you want to argue with me? Let's argue. Let's look at Daniel.
Let's go, Bishop.
Daniel, for 21 days he reached out to God, and God sent an angel with a message. That angel was stopped by another angel, the Prince of Persia, stopped the angel that was sent to Daniel. Then here comes
Michael,
the archangel,
to save Michael,
released
Gabriel
from the Prince of Persia, who we don't have a name for. Now, Michael is dealing with Satan. And Michael says to Satan, the Lord rebuke you, because he dares not make an accusation against the devil. Michael wouldn't say anything about Satan and curse him out or say anything about how bad he is. He said, Satan, the Lord rebuke you. Which means then that Michael had to back up and go all the way to the penthouse to deal with the devil. Now here's what God tells me. Resist the devil
and he will flee from you.
So if I'm hanging with Michael, I'll say, Michael, here comes the devil. Michael say, yeah, here comes the devil. Let's call God. I say, no, Michael, just get behind me. Let me handle that.
Bishop, you're bad.